up to another good morning. Time to go. Oh, we are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure. We are all.
Welcome back to the 3x5 Live
podcast.
We're both here coming to you live. On this podcast, we talk about mindset, productivity, wellness. Last week, Jessie jammed on Ayurveda and heading into the spring season and what that means to you and preparing your body, mind, and spirit for it.
Good job.
You like that?
I like that.
And I recently got a new iPhone. You know that?
I did know that.
Yeah. And
I don't know where you're going with this, but I know that.
One thing I did, which is not the most fiscally responsible thing to do, is you can trade it in and get a few $100, right? Mm-hmm. And I delayed trading it in, even though I had the full intention of trading it in. But I've been loving waking up and having my old iPhone that still has my old apps on my meditation cushion, and I dive right into the Calm app, and I have some affirmations I read through, and using my issue with, I wanted to start the day out without using my phone, but I use the Calm app to meditate. Mm-hmm. And then you pick up your phone and you see text messages from the night before, notifications, and now I can eliminate all that with this second phone. So the question is that worth a few $100 to me?
I don't know. Is it?
I think it is. I haven't gotten your permission not to send my phone back yet.
I don't know that you need my permission, but if it's serving you and your morning routine, you know how important morning routine and rituals are. So
yeah, so I'd say
it's worth it.
Yeah, so it takes the phone out of my life for the first hour or so of the day. So
I feel like there probably is a way to work around with your normal phone doing the same thing. But
what if I had an iPod or what are they?
Yeah, like an iPod.
No, is there called something else?
No. Okay. iPad?
No, I thought there was newer version of the iPod.
Don't know.
Anyway, I digress. So that's a little hey, productivity tip. If you don't want that few $100 for your phone, start out your day with your old phone. All right. So this week we wanted to revisit the Sunday ritual. This is something I probably get the most feedback on as having, the biggest impact on people's lives, bookending the week with the Sunday ritual. So I kind of wanted to revisit that for new listeners and kind of go through what my process looks like, with Jessie interjecting with some wisdom, and go from there. So how I started is I kind of go into Sunday knowing when I'm going to have a pocket of 30 minutes of quiet to just go through this process. I try to do it, in a different room, away from the kids, the family. I hide from Jessie for 30 minutes and she asks where I am.
It's not true.
And how I started out is I grab the last 7 days of cards. So, starting Monday, and then it comes to Sunday. And I kind of read through all the things I wrote in the gratitude section just to kind of uplift me. And it only takes literally less than a minute just to kind of quick read through all the different gratitudes of the week. And then I start looking at the wins, and I pull from those. If you ever seen the 3x5 system or the other cards that come with the main cards, there is a weekly review card. So it's kind of what went well, what is on one side, and on the other side is what needs work. So I'll pull and journal on, or bullet point, depending on the week, 2 or 3 or 4 biggest wins of the week. And then I kind of think about what I committed to that week. And on the back of the card, I'll kind of write out what needs work. What did I say I was going to do that I didn't do? And after I complete that, I actually grab a piece of paper, not a 3x5 card. And I have this process of mapping out my week. Do you have anything that?
No, I don't necessarily participate in this practice, but with the Sunday review, even though I really, really should. But I was just thinking that I'm teaching 2 grad classes simultaneously right now. One is an in-person course and one is an online course. And something I've gotten in the habit of doing with my graduate students is doing a Sunday review. They do a video or a journal entry that looks at their week in review and then looks at areas that were very positive and then areas that might need, so I call it like a grow and a glow, right? And it's interesting because I was just having a conversation with one of those students and they were saying how they're really going to miss that Sunday where they sit down and they talk about their week with me. Right. And I was saying, I argued the point that this is a practice that can be self-instilled. Like they don't need me to be the recipient of that process, just that mental deep dive into what's going well. And that's that positive emotions and positive affirmation piece that can totally change the trajectory of your upcoming week. And then looking at those areas of self-improvement, like that's that growth journey. Yep. And you are so good at the discipline piece of it. But I love that the cards lend itself naturally to this kind of data collection piece of all of those pillars, so that when you do lay them out at the end, you can then get a really nice screenshot or snapshot of what your week looked like. So because of that, in my in-person class, I've made this actually one of their projects. I gave them the 3x5 life cards. I gave them the month goal card where they're creating a goal for themselves. I gave them the habit tracker card to track for 30 days. And then I gave them the daily cards. And so I'll see them. I saw them on Sunday. I'll see them this Sunday. Right. So it's been 1 week. And I said to them, for 7 days, you're going to do your daily cards. And then in the grad class, I'm going to walk them through this review process and have them dialogue about exactly what Bryan's saying. I know that this is a powerful practice and one that could really, really benefit people.
Yeah. And it's amazing how much you forget what you did on Tuesday. That was awesome. You know, it happens to me all the time. Like I'll misplace a card and then I'll find it, you know, halfway through the week. And I'll be like, that was a fantastic win that I should definitely have put down that I completely forgot to put down. Go ahead.
I was just going to say another piece that's been really cool is sharing your PM wins, like at nighttime. I was actually joking with my grad class because Bryan and I are usually very good about setting like our sacred space at night where we're reading. We barely talk to each other because we're both trying to just read and unwind. We don't really bring heavy, deep conversations into the bedroom because it just disrupts our sleep. But Bryan was like, we hadn't seen each other for a few days, and it was the day before I was going in to teach, and you gave me like a bullet pointed list of like 1,000 things that you'd been thinking about. And I realized how I literally laid there awake for 2 hours afterwards because I was thinking through all the things you unloaded. And it made me appreciate that we don't normally do that. But the PM win piece is such a nice way to connect at the end of the night, but you're doing it on like a positive note. Like sometimes you're just like passing in the win and we're like high-fiving each other. Like, oh, great to see you. Here's the kids, right? Yeah. So that's a nice way at the end to bring back that reflection piece daily. And I'll say, hey, what was your like high point? What was your win today? And then he shares a story or something that happened during his day that's very positive in nature. So it allows us to kind of sink into sleep without that like mental clutter or thought process. So reflection is super powerful in this format that you're talking about. I think it can be even greater because it's looking backwards in order to get a trajectory to move forward in a more productive fashion.
Yep, exactly. And one last thing that I do there too is I look at the previous week of cards and I look at all my tasks and I kind of revisit my task list to see if there's anything that I should put on Monday's card. Again, I'm doing this on a Sunday. So I'm almost like setting up Monday's card, like, hey, this thing that did get accomplished on Wednesday actually is now open again because of whatever reason. So I should readdress that on Monday. And it's a way to kind of get through that mental clutter of, you know, what were my tasks last week and do any of those spill over into this week?
Do you ever eliminate tasks that didn't get done that just don't seem like applicable anymore?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. It's interesting how like priorities shift and change from like week to week too. Yeah. And that ability to like let some things go, even if they weren't accomplished because they're no longer like in service to where you're trying to get. So
yeah, exactly.
I was just curious.
and then the final thing is I'll look at my goal card, and a lot of times I even rewrite my goals. So I'm looking at I'm looking at my goal card, revisiting my yearly goals. And then what I do is I write out columns where I write WIG, which is the wildly important goal. So that's my WIG. And then next to that, I write MINS, which means most important next step. And then next to that, I write when, like when am I going to do it? And then obstacles. What would be my obstacles? So I have one win for my like wildly important goal for my main business. Then I create one win or wildly important goal, WIG for, we just said all these wins.
I know.
One WIG for 3x5 life, one WIG for family, one WIG for fitness. And those are mine. those are my 4, Yeah, I named 4. And then for each one of those, I say, what's my most important next step to accomplishing that goal for this week? And then when am I going to do it? Okay, Tuesday morning is a good space to get this thing done. And then what obstacles am I going to face? And a lot of those obstacles are me, me not prioritizing this thing I said I'm going to do, or, me just deciding not to do it for whatever reason. And just having that awareness helps you when you're writing this out to overcome what might be coming down the road in this coming week. So that's like the last way that I bookend the weekly review and plan the upcoming week.
I love it.
Anything to add?
I don't, but now you're to be a little bit more intentional with this practice.
But obviously I did do a video in the fall of this process. So if people are interested, you can email Bryan at 3by5life.com and I'll send it over to you, Bryan. Because it's a little easier to do in video form than audio.
Right. Like he takes you through like the camera of how he actually does the review process with the cards. So if this is interesting to you, for sure, reach out and we'll make sure we get that to you.
But I mean, I would really encourage trying it for a month. It's like the biggest feedback we've got is how much this has impacted people's productivity in the coming week and reflecting on the previous week. It's so easy to not reflect, but it's so wildly important to reflect.
I was just talking about the difference between like designing your life and being on default, because our
reactive.
Yes, like always, like we're just trying to like tread water and we never can get ahead, right? We can never get ahead of like all the stress and the things that are going on in our lives. So the ability to design through a process like this, I think, can be life changing with how your days go, your weeks go, your months go, and actually being able to achieve some of these goals that we set forth for ourselves. So try it out and let us know how it goes.
That's what we got this week, guys. Enjoy.
Take care. Have a great one.
Bye now.
See ya.
Hello world, wake me up to another good morning.